I'm going to share with you what I would do if I wanted to become a nail tech. That is, if I didn't already have my license, and this is based off of experience, going to school, and also being a cosmetology teacher. I don't know if there's anyone else out there presenting this as the same way as I am going to, but this is my take on what I would do and the advice that I'm giving you on what you should do if you want to become a nail tech. Okay, so first things first, if you want to become a nail tech, you have to go to school. You have to go and get that formal training. And not just because you have to know what you're doing, but because you have to have a license for what you're doing. Most places, I know if you're in the United States, you have to get a license in order to do nails on the public and to get paid for it. So what that means is, once you go to school, you have to get so many hours in a certain program in order to go and take a test, which your test is for your license to be able to be licensed to go and do nails. So once you are looking for what school that you want to go to, this is my advice for what I would do if I was going to go to school now, is I would go to Google and I would type in nail school or nail technician school near me and see what your options are for schools near you, because you don't just want to pick the first one you see, or you heard that so-and-so went to this school, so you might as well just go to this school too. So look up schools and see beauty schools, and you might also see Vo-Tech schools listed on Google. A Vo-Tech school is something that a lot of kids do whenever they're in high school. And if you are in high school and you're thinking about wanting to go into this field, that could be a great opportunity for you to go and get that free education, because once you're an adult and you go and you want to do this same training, you have to pay for it. So don't think though that just because it's a Vo-Tech school, it means it's a bad school. Because it doesn't. There's so many people I hear say, oh, like Vo-Tech, like I don't want to go to Vo-Tech. Vo-Tech gets a bad name for whatever reason. I think people think like, oh, like this is a beauty school. Like if this is a beauty school, the people there must be knowing what they're talking about, and this is prestigious, and this is a high level of education. And that's not always necessarily the truth. You could get a really good teacher at either school, honestly. You could get a really good teacher at a beauty school. You could get a really good teacher at a Vo-Tech. You could get a really bad teacher at a beauty school. You could get a really bad teacher at a Vo-Tech. So how do you know that before you go and you sign up for school? So when I was teaching, there would be people that would call all the time and ask questions. So feel free to call and ask questions to the schools that you're thinking about going to. Now the questions may be even like, how much does it cost? And if you're just worried about the cost, you don't necessarily have to talk to the person who's running the program. You can just talk to someone who's in the business department, or the cost might even be listed on their website, something like that. But if you ask and you can go and do a tour there, by all means, you should go and do a tour there. I gave tours to people all the time. They'd call up and say, can I come in? And I'd say, sure. And I'd show them around the place. Now, mind you, this is cosmetology, so I'm teaching like hair and skin, everything. But I'd give them a tour of the space, tell them everything that I would think I would want to know before I started a program, like what am I gonna learn? What type of services are there gonna be? Like these are the certain products that we use. So try to think of questions that you can ask somebody before you go to the tour of whatever it is that you want to know about. Are you going to learn how to do gel X nails there? Are you going to learn how to do this type of service there? What kind of pedicures are you going to learn? Are you going to do acrylic on toes? Whatever it is that you want to ask whenever you go into the tour for the building, because that's your time. And you can ask them whatever your heart desires. Write it down beforehand so you don't forget, and that way you're seeing that person too who's going to be your teacher, because likely you'll get to talk to the instructor and you can see, oh, like this person seems like they really care. They took time to do a tour with me. Or, oh, this person just kind of brushed me off. You'll get a feel for what the type of person that is who's going to be teaching you in the classroom, because you're paying for this. If you're an adult and you're paying to go and get this education, you want to make sure that you get the best education possible in the best place possible, because you're paying for it. The worst thing would be to go to a school and have your teacher teach you the bare minimum and you don't really learn anything and you don't feel confident whenever you're going out into the field because you didn't do any research and you didn't know anything about this school, and it turns into this whole situation where you just don't feel good about it and you feel bad about all the money you spent, because that can happen. However, keep in mind, when you're going to school, your teacher can't teach you everything that you need to know. I know that sounds crazy, but your teacher can't teach you everything that you need to know. Most likely, you're just going to learn the basics while you're there. So think about it too. A lot of these programs are by hour. So you might have to go 500 hours to get your nail tech license, 300 hours to get your nail tech license. How long is that really, depending on how many hours a day you're putting in? If you're putting in 8 hours a day at school and your program's maybe only 200 hours, that's not a very long time in the program. Plus, you're not just learning the technical aspect of it. You're not just learning how to apply a product. You're also going to be learning out of a textbook, which let me grab. Here's my textbook. You'll likely learn from this or something else, maybe Pivot Point. And look how big this textbook is. So it's not all just how to apply the acrylic properly. You have to also learn general science. You're going to learn about nail diseases and disorders. You're going to learn some business skills. So there's a lot more to it than just going to school and learning how to paint nails. So be realistic with your expectations whenever you're going into school, because you have to learn this. You need to know this. This is what you need to know, because whenever you're going to take your test to get your license, there is likely going to be a written part where you're going to have to answer questions where they might ask you what a certain nail disease is. Maybe a general science question. Maybe a sanitation question. So you have to know this book as well as how to do the skill. But once you do know this book and you know everything in here, and now you go and you got your nail tech license, that doesn't mean that you're done learning, because there's always new things that you could learn. You can practice more to become better at the things that you already know. So your education never really stops. So what you want to do is pick a school. Learn while you're in school. You want to learn the book. And you also want to practice as much as you can on the skill that you want to do the most of while you're in school, or the skill that you're having a hard time with. Keep practicing it more. Maybe you really want to offer acrylic nails. Practice acrylic nails a lot, because I'm sure you can get a classmate or a family member or a friend can come in on client day that you can perform these services on, because you really want to have the practice. Practice makes perfect, and like I said, once you're done with school, still practice, because that's only going to help you to get better. And once you're better, you're going to feel better about yourself too. You're going to be more proud of your work. Take pictures, because you can see, oh, my work started from here. It wasn't that good, but now it's here. And I feel really great about how far that I come, how much practice, how much effort that I put into wanting to learn nails to be able to do this career. Because the better you are, the more clients you're going to get, right? And everybody wants to have more clients, because more clients means that you're going to make more money, and that's like the best thing about a job, right? You're learning, or you're making more money, because if you're not making any money, you don't have any clients, well, that's really not a good job then, is it? You'd rather have a good income than an income down here at zero. If you want to learn more about nails, I have other videos on my channel. You can go ahead and check them out and learn more things that you can do with nails and nail art and nail tech advice.